Shaun Cassidy wanted the Hardy Boys to be more than a glossy mystery show. He imagined episodes about police brutality, addiction, and real emotional pain. The network refused. They wanted smiles, clean stories, and family-friendly adventure. Cassidy played along, but by 1981, something inside him broke. He vanished from Hollywood for decades. When he finally returned, he turned down a $15 million offer to reboot the Hardy Boys, saying the scripts were too childish. Then fans began to notice strange clues buried in the old episodes. Shadows, headlines, and hints of trauma that seemed to echo his own. Only later did people ask what he had really been trying to say. Shaun Paul Cassidy was born on September 27, 1958, in Los Angeles. He arrived a month late, delivered by cesarean section to two Hollywood stars, Oscar winner Shirley Jones and Broadway actor Jack Cassidy. At home, glamour gave way to chaos. Jack suffered from bipolar disorder and alcoholism. He could be charming one moment and terrifying the next, wandering naked through the house or claiming to be Jesus. At 16, Shaun watched his father institutionalized after another violent breakdown. Their home echoed with shattered furniture, sleepless arguments, and fear. Adding to the tension was Shaun's older half-brother, David Cassidy, already a global idol from the Partridge Family. Between 1970 and 1974, David earned millions and received 25,000 fan letters a week. Even at home, Shaun felt invisible. Shirley played David's mother on television, and that blurring of family and fame made Shaun feel as though he could never measure up. In later years, he said David's jealousy and distance left him walking on emotional glass. The family's Beverly Hills mansion seemed like privilege from the outside, but for Shaun it was isolating. At elite private schools, classmates mocked his mother's musical roles, twisting songs from Oklahoma into cruel jokes. Surrounded by celebrity children, including future stars like Nicolas Cage and Lenny Kravitz, he became withdrawn, quietly resenting the Hollywood world that defined him. Then came tragedy. On December 12, 1976, when Shaun was 18, Jack Cassidy died in a fire after falling asleep drunk with a cigarette burning on the couch. Firefighters found him near the door, labeled John Doe number 257, until dental records and a melted gold pinky ring confirmed his identity. Shaun arrived at the scene, the stench of burned flesh and blackened walls seared into his memory. That ring became a symbol of everything his father had destroyed. His family, his future, and himself. To distract him from grief, Shirley urged Shaun into acting. Early auditions went nowhere. One casting director told him he looked too sweet to play a rebel. His image, wholesome and polite, would follow him for years. In 1975, he signed a record deal with Curb Records, but his first single, Morning Girl, barely charted. Then, in 1977, everything changed. His cover of Do Ron Ron hit number 1 on Billboard and made him a teen idol overnight. He toured relentlessly, up to 200 shows a year, until he collapsed from exhaustion on stage in Germany. At 18, he was rich and famous but deeply unhappy. Managers staged fake romances and photo shoots, shaping an image he didn't recognize. "I felt like a puppet," he later said. In 1977, Cassidy also landed the role of Joe Hardy in the Hardy Boys / Nancy Drew Mysteries. ABC saw him as a younger echo of his brother David, clean-cut, charming, safe. But behind the smile, Shaun pushed for something deeper. He proposed storylines about alcoholism, family abuse, even corrupt police. The network rejected them all. They wanted light entertainment, not moral realism. The show premiered to 20 million viewers, but the long hours and studio pressure took a toll. Cassidy once collapsed from dehydration after a stunt. Tensions on set grew when Pamela Sue Martin, who played Nancy Drew, discovered she was earning half his salary. Furious, she posed for Playboy in protest. ABC fired her, sparking public outrage. Cassidy's popularity only grew, along with his anxiety. Some fans broke into his home. Others sent disturbing letters detailing his private routines. Security expert Gavin DeBecker, later famous for protecting Jeff Bezos, was hired to guard him. Cassidy, still a teenager, felt trapped between fame and fear. By 1979, The Hardy Boys was slipping in ratings. Cassidy kept fighting for mature themes, but producers and even 83-year-old Harriet Adams, head of the Stratemeyer Syndicate, insisted on wholesome scripts. When the series was retooled in its third season, turning the Hardy brothers into FBI agents investigating drug rings and kidnappings, parents complained it was too dark. Ratings collapsed. After just 46 episodes, ABC canceled the show in early 1979. Cassidy's fame, built so fast, began to evaporate just as quickly. The collapse of the Hardy Boys left him burned out and disillusioned. He released darker albums, Under Wraps in 1978, Wasp in 1980, but audiences wanted the old pop idol, not the brooding songwriter. Critics mocked the new work, and Warner Brothers dropped him. In 1981, he turned to Broadway with Mass Appeal, hoping for respect as a serious actor. But when audiences realized the Shaun Cassidy was on stage, many walked out. The production closed early, losing more than $2 million. Cassidy's reputation as a teen idol had become an artistic curse. Through the 1980s, he struggled to reinvent himself. In 1987, he shocked fans by playing the villain Dusty Walker on General Hospital. Viewers sent thousands of angry letters. ABC ended his storyline early. Still, Cassidy was deliberately confronting the darkness he'd been told to hide. His marriage to model Ann Pennington unraveled under that strain. She accused him of emotional distance, saying he was obsessed with escaping his former image. They divorced in 1993, settling for more than $400,000. By the early 1990s, Cassidy had nearly disappeared from public life. His 1991 TV movie Strays, a horror story about killer cats, was mocked, but it opened doors behind the camera. In 1995, he created American Gothic, produced by Sam Raimi. The series was unlike anything he'd done before, bleak, psychological, and steeped in Southern Gothic horror. Gary Cole starred as a charming yet demonic sheriff in a small town haunted by evil. The first episode, featuring murder, rape, and supernatural violence, nearly scared CBS into shelving it. But critics hailed it as one of the most original shows of the year. Ratings were low and CBS canceled it after one season, but it became a cult classic. Cassidy had finally revealed the creative voice he'd been hiding since the Hardy Boys. He found stability at last as a writer-producer. Between 2018 and 2023, Cassidy served as executive producer on the hit medical drama New Amsterdam, which ran for 5 seasons and earned more than $200 million through international sales. Critics praised his ability to weave emotional realism and moral conflict into mainstream television. This time he had full creative control, something he'd never known in his youth. Even as his career revived, Cassidy remained wary of nostalgia.